Good Wednesday evening. It is July 5th, 2023, here at PreciseAlgorithmTrading.com. And I haven't talked to you guys since I think Friday night, coming into a long weekend, a shortened trading day on Monday. Those are funny days, especially when you're talking about the futures. But the shortened trading day on Monday was actually ended up being a pretty decent bullish day, and then today, it's not as much. So, um, totally, that kind of volatility popping up during a week like this makes a ton of sense. It's common, and yeah, I've seen it a ton. So here's the S&P 500, and it should not be lost on us that that oops, where's my fancy tool? There it is. This is a buy arrow, and that was a buy arrow, and this was a buy arrow, and this didn't need a buy arrow. So um, these are all still pushing higher, and that all looks good. You might notice I added on a little trailing stop on there, and so we can see the where the trailing stop changes from bearish to bullish, where price and all this action is going on above it or below it. So um, it's helpful for me. I can see what the price is doing. I can see what the averages are doing. That type of thing. All right, so that is a buy with target dots, and uh, we've already hit these target dots back here. I think that's close enough to call it. So anything's possible from here. We could push up through this 52-week high right there. We could push up through it one more time. Obviously, we did that here. I'm thinking we're running out of breath here momentarily, but there's plenty of reasons to think we could back and fill. Since we back and filled here, this could run up a little further before it has to back and fill some more. But this is getting a little tired, so that'll be interesting to see how it works itself out. Um, Moving forward into the Dow, the Dow's the one that I think probably has more legs, and I'm gonna spell that out here real quick. So obviously, push up, pull back, push up, pull back. This one fell a little bit deeper, but now we've pushed up. We haven't hit these 52-week highs yet, and the fact that we did on the other indexes, the S&P and the Nasdaq, leads me to believe that this one's going to follow through. So this one, if we can push higher and push that up like the other one was, then we can get some legs into this rally, and maybe not all at once, and don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves because we do have down momentum going on there, but it is in the middle of, while these indicators are all still pushing potentially higher, they're all green, and so are these. So we'll see if this thing's got any legs. So um, go into the Russell, which is far away from its 52-week highs, and we just got that close above on these. These are the Harvard lines here, the gold Harvard lines, the important one. We just got that close above that for the end of the month, and then we pull back, which that's a classic pull you underwater, slap in the face that the market will give you. So yeah, we got an official buy signal on this indicator, and the close is a close below that line, that blue line. So could we see some sideways and then some push higher? Since this is green and that's green, ooh, that's red. This is still green, 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 green. So we have a chink in the armor here, and so we just kind of keep keep an eye out for it. This is not that far to go if it did stop out. If that stops out there, I'd say the market's in for some heat, and you just got to be able to tighten your stops and follow the system, and you should be just fine through that. But let's not forget July. Over 10 years, 60% of the time, it's 1.63% higher. So let's see what happens. Um, the Dow, see, 90% of the time is 2.35% higher. The S&P, 90% of the time 3.12% higher, and then the Nasdaq, 90% of the time 3.99%. So this is the Nasdaq's been the winner of this whole thing, really, and we've got a buy signal here, green. It's been red while this has all been still popping up. So I mean that was red through that whole zone. So there's nothing saying we can't push higher here. We do have resistance here, supports. We got a number of lines of support all the way down through here. This is 2 standard deviations. That last dotted line here, something to be aware of. All right, that's enough for that. Oil, I'm just going to pop it up on the USO contract, and we did get a nice little breakout. We're questioning this trade enough that I've got stops set on it, so it literally was like at its limit to where I set stops, and then it's gone higher from there, which is also interesting how often that works. So this thing pulled back into this zone. My stop I could easily put underneath this pivot and these pivots. So that's what I did, and then she's turned up and gone up from there just a little bit. And so far so good. We do have target dots on the weekly. If they hold, we got old target dots on the weekly as well that could get us back up into these zones, or actually beyond these zones. So we'll see what happens. TLT I got out of today. That's bonds, or the version of bonds that I trade, and you can just see it's really down, down, down across the board, so there's no reason for me to stay in that position. It might reverse immediately, and it'll be the kind of thing I just was talking about that oil did. I did not set a stop underneath this because I just had such across the board confirmation that I don't want to be in this trade any longer. Alright, and then moving to stockcharts.com and look at the bullish percent indexes. Since I got a little catching up to do for a couple days being lax, the rest of this week's going to be a little like that too. Alright, well, the Dow Jones Industrials actually moved higher by 4.76% today. So that's a fairly big move on a day when the Dow was down so hard. And again, I'll just reiterate for new people, 73.33% of stocks in the Dow, there's 30 of them, are on a point and figure buy signal. And so the other 27% or so is still on a point and figure sell signal. So it's just a measure of buying versus selling. That's it. And this went up by 3.33% today. So the NYA up by 0.44% today, again in the face of a relatively down day in the markets. The transports are really popping high. Now this is getting to be a place to take real note, because this is 100%. We have 1, 2, 3 more boxes we could get to before it gets to 100%. And if 100% of the stocks in the transportation index are on a point and figure buy signal, then you start really watching for signals for it to go the other way, and it could come crashing down. 5.56% of stocks in the transportation index flipped up to a point and figure buy signal today. So we have 5% of stocks left to be able to flip to a point and figure buy signal, and that is a pretty ominous sign. It's counterintuitive, but it's pretty ominous. The NASDAQ. Ooh, why did that happen? The NASDAQ. Okay. Well, it might get cut short here, guys. So, sorry about that. We'll flip over and look at the automatic trading systems for today. And they are down, but really, this move has been brutal anyway. And on the longer term, it is still what it is. I'm going to go see if I can't run some more back data and see what this would look like if I could get 15 or 18 months worth. But this is a year, so. Alright, this is the Russell, and it's, again, a couple brutal days. It hasn't been real lucrative to have these on, but I have been keeping them on just because they're built straight through these types of days. So this is that down move in the last couple days. It's not the end of the world. It just is what it is. The here's the shoot. Yeah, I'm not sure. There we go. The NASDAQ has been hopefully putting in a bottom here. And I don't know why it keeps bouncing on me. And then it's, again, looking like, we're still trying to maintain this gentle sloping uptrend. So if hopefully that holds and we can get going again, that would be really nice, because we've done it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, arguably 7, 8, 9, 10 times in a year. Hope you get the point. This is what the action looked like in the last couple days. So we win some and we lose some, and this is what they look like when they're actually trading on a chart. That's a win, that's a win, that's a loss. So the light blue ones are wins, and the red ones are losses. And then there's a couple chop trades in there that are just junk. And then I wanted to show just, this is the YM, and we've, generally speaking, we get some winners and we get some losers. We've had more losers than winners lately, and we had a run of them right there in the middle. That's, the point of this thing is we also want to get runners to the upside, and we do. We also, this thing's built to lose less than it gains when you are winning. So this is the Russell, and again, we've had some pretty serious negativity here lately. And then the NASDAQ, which is still the strongest of all of our systems, it's really been back and forth, winners and losers. So we just have to suck it up, guys. The only other answer is quit trading, and if you do that, that's right when this thing would reverse, and then you look back and you go, man, I should have never stopped doing that. So there's another answer. It would take some doing, and it'd be on these longer term charts. It would be to draw or to be able to actually get a real moving average up through all this, and to stop trading when it goes below a moving average. I've actually seen it programmed before. I haven't seen it work on my systems, because I did try it, and it takes multiple, it's a complicated thing, so, and I don't think it would work on these time frames. So anyways, with that, I'll leave you guys for tonight, and hope everybody's alright. Have a great rest of the shortened trading week, and we'll talk to you again Thursday night. Take care.